I'm Alex Ferrari. I'm marketing manager in Objective Solution here in the USA. And we have been in the market in the last 25 years, engaging with teams, contribute with the company's growth, and meeting the purpose of our clients. So we are here with Ricardo. Please tell us a little about your current role in the Objective.
Okay, thank you, Alex. Hello, nice to meet you. I'm Ricardo Pietroforte. I'm Director of Business Development at Objective in the US.
Right, thank you, Ricardo. And we are also here with Ramon, who have been working for 22 years in the company. And Ramon, please tell us a little about your current role here in Objective.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you all for watching this video. About my current position, I am currently the VP of Operations here in the United States. It's a branch of Objective Solutions. And I'm based here in Chicago since 2017.
Oh, nice. And in your career of 22 years and more, what are your main roles you have played?
Yeah, I consider it my start as one of the main roles when I started as a developer in 1989 when I wrote my first line of code. But then in 2001, I decided to go for the project management side. So I started to manage the projects and products, right?
Right.
And in 2004, then I changed and again to functional manager when I was promoted actually, and I was responsible, to have all the people.
Just to be sure, how many people, sorry, you are talking here?
My first team was 35 people.
Right.
But eventually it grew up to 140.
So you started with 35 people.
Yeah, I did.
Right, nice. And after this?
After that, I was promoted once again, and then I became the COO, right? And I became the director of the functional manager plus the product managers and also developers, of course.
Right, nice. Thank you, Ramon. It's really an amazing journey. And Ricardo, how many people we already have in all the branches of Objective right now?
Okay, Alex, now we have 400 people working from 4 different cities worldwide. And we have started our presence in the US since 2017.
Cool, nice. So it's a long journey, right? And I know that nowadays Maringá is one of the largest, maybe the largest branch that we have at Objective with around 140 people. And Ramon, who are here with us, is our founder, is the founder of this branch, right? So please, Ramon, tell me a little about this history from 0 to 140 people in the same branch.
Okay, so that is part of my career that I'm really proud of. And this journey started back in 2009. And I got this new mission to start this new branch from scratch. And was just me and another senior developer. And our goal since the beginning was to scale and become the largest team.
So you are telling me that you are not starting from 0, but from 2, right?
From 2, yes. Cool. Okay, so it was very nice, and I used at that time I was already a very seasoned professional. I could say that, right? Because I had all my traditional project management skills, PMI, this kind of stuff. I've been working with Agile since the beginning, since 2002. So I knew already all the things that I needed to know about how to deal with the teams and deal with high quality deliveries.
Right.
And because of that, and because I have this need to grow fast, right? I had to set from the day one the right mindset, and the right mindset was to learn, right? And by learn, I mean we used to collect all the data since day one, all the data, and we used to use empiricism to understand what we should do and learn, and then evolve our process and our methodologies, right?
Right.
So I we did that, and we started with extreme programming at that part, extreme programming plus Scrum, right? And then we started to evolve the process, and we started to create tools to
Right.
deal
So
with this.
just to be sure. So you are starting with these tools related with Scrum and
Mhm.
Extreming program, but it's not actually enough. Is that
Yeah, wasn't enough. I think the most important part was to create the concepts, right? To 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 enable us to deal with big teams, using
cool?
all the good things that Agile can bring to your to your development.
Right.
So we learn pretty fast that it's pretty hard to scale Agile, right?
Right. Understood.
And then we started to once we break the things, we needed to try to find new ways to fix the problems and evolve it. And in this process, during this process, then we created some very interesting concepts, right? And we also developed some tools to support them. Let me give you an example. Back in 2009, uh, there wasn't any kind of virtual task boards where
Right.
all the task boards were
So
all physical.
nowadays there is a lot of
A lot of, and we had to develop our own, right?
right.
So
I
at
can
that time,
imagine
so
it. Right.
just for you to understand what kind of problems we have to fix,
Yes.
and so we had to be very creative about all the problems that we are facing during our escalation process, right? And then we managed to scale pretty fast because I can tell you that within 6 months uh, we went from zero, or be just another guy,
Okay. True. Right. Yes.
to six people, and
Six
one and a
in
half
6 months.
in 6 months.
Right.
Yes, and I can remember that I used to, to get a call from my head of partner and say, okay, Ramon, for next month you needed to hire 20 more people. It was these
Right.
kind of things, and I was, cycle after cycle after cycle, and it was
You
very
could
interesting.
in
Made
that
me learn
time
a lot.
in that time you could maintain the quality of efforts and
Yes, I
development.
managed to do that. It was hard in the beginning, but yes, the way we organize ourselves around the work was favor us to do that, and well, was nice.
So great, Hamon. I'm remembering now when you told me about a kind of wall that you hit when you reached around 40 people. Remember? How's that? How's kind of wall that you reach?
Yes, so I have now very clear in my mind this concept, this wall of production that you hit, and it's very hard to overcome when you get something around 40 people in your team.
Right.
And we can start to feel this kind of problems when you have 20 people, but as you go and you become closer to the 40 people, the problems become more evident and
Right.
harder to solve, right? So what I learned is that all the companies they started pretty agile in the beginning, right? And that's the problem. They
Is
are all very
everything
responsive.
fine until this moment?
Yes. You can share the purpose for the company. Everyone knows what they are doing. But as the company grows, this is becoming harder and harder and harder, right?
You know, it's a
And
kind of moment that I think that you try to get more people, but it not
yes,
works. Yes, it's like
yes,
that.
exactly. So you expect that if you have 20 people, and then if you add 20 more people, then
Right.
you have the double of the
The
production.
production,
But
right? Yes.
it's not like that.
It's
So
not so easy. Right.
it's not so easy. But what I learned is that if you don't have the right mindset, and when you hit the wall of the 40 people, if you don't change the way you're thinking, if you think and if you don't thinking about efficiency and techniques and tools to help you to
Right.
overcome that,
To
it's like a
maintain
wall.
the
Yeah,
need the level,
it's
right?
like It's like a wall. It doesn't matter if you add more people, you only get worse when you
Right.
scale your team, right?
Right.
And we solved that problem. This is one part that I really like. It's we had to design, had to create some tools to support us on that, and we also create lots of new practices and techniques to to combine agile with efficiency, with volume, scale.
Right.
So it was very nice, and we learned that if you want to overcome that, you need to be ready to go for remote work, because at that time we
Yeah.
were spread around the 4 cities, right?
Come on, and nowadays it's just like unthinkable to do
Yes,
not, right?
yes. This is another very nice thing, because after COVID-19,
Right. Yes.
we flipped to 100% because of the quarantine, this kind of things in our
Right.
country. We flipped to 100% of remote work without losing production. So
Whoa.
it's amazing. It's been amazing. Amazing.
Right.
And so if you want to overcome, if you want to solve this wall problem, you needed to learn how to share your team's knowledge, how to share purpose. You needed to create visibility, digital visibility for the entire company, so they can work remotely.
Right. Yes.
And of course, and the most important thing to do is to automate. So you needed to automate as much as you can, right? But the hard part is to find the right thing the right thing to automatize. So
Yeah.
that's
You can automate everything, right? So you need to
yes,
automate the
yes.
right
You
things.
need you needed to find the right balance, effort to automatize versus all the results that you can
Right.
bring out of it.
But you can say that is actually a key thing to do, right?
Yes, yes. So automation is the key to scale.
Right. Nice. Great. So that's a great history. And but in this moment, when we start from scratch, you had all the control to implement all the important things step by step from scratch, right? But what if you deal with a running team with kind of 50 plus people, and they are reaching the wall in the very moment? So they already have problems with quality and delivering on time. How to solve that, Ramon?
This is a very interesting question. I lived this situation in the past, right? When I have to move from one of our sister companies,
Right.
CodeIT Solutions, and they were basically a 50 plus team there, and they used to have this traditional mindset. And because of the production wall that we mentioned before, they were struggling with their production and also with quality, right? But here's the thing: during the process of developing the tools and the practices that help us at Objective to overcome the wall, we noticed that lots of things in different teams in different companies they were converging, right? So
Right.
at some
Yes.
point, the pains are the same in
Right.
everything, right? Just
Different teams, but same problems. I
the
like that.
same problems, exactly, exactly. So that this convergence help us to understand that we could, using our experience to help the other companies
Right.
to improve their lives, right?
Right. And I'm
It's
thinking here that they are probably trying to manage to hire more people and try to solve,
yes,
right?
yes, and that was exactly the case, right? How many people do we need to hire so we can,
Yeah. To solve
meet
this
the
thing, right?
deadlines to solve this thing? That wasn't the question, right? So we can once we have this background, this understanding, it's like going to a trip knowing all the shortcuts, right?
Right.
I like to say that we can help our companies to evolve, and you can let the company they would eventually learn how to overcome the wall,
Right.
right? But the question is how long would they need
How many people they will try to hire, right?
exactly. It's painful, and I felt those pains right
Right. I
at
can
that time.
imagine.
Yes, yes. So we can say that once we understand what we can do and all the convergence, all the pains, and we have everything in the structure, It's like you are, not letting your team evolve naturally, but you are, doing some genetic engineering and
Right.
help the teams to evolve more quickly, right? So that's the point, right? And just for you to have an idea, with this team, when I got there, uh, the average effort to fixing bugs. So let's say that your team and that team at that time used to produce 5,000 hours a month,
Right.
and out of those 5,000 hours, 40% was on average fixing bugs,
Hey, come
right?
on. It's 40%.
Yes, 40%. So we are talking about 2,000 hours,
Right.
right?
Yes.
It's a lot. It's a lot. So
It's almost half of the effort, right?
yes, almost half. So uh, thinking about that, if you want to have a boost of productivity, you just need to get rid of the bugs, right?
Right.
You
Yes.
instantly
Sure.
you gain lots of productions. But just for you to understand, when I got there, at that particular moment, we were doing a stabilization period. You were
Right.
preparing our product to deliver, and we had 80% of our teams, 80% of our teams fixing bugs,
Man.
right? And then I started to,
It's a
knowing
kind
all
of
the
war
shortcuts.
situation. Right.
Exactly, and we used to call, we used to have war rooms there,
Right.
right, to fixing
I
to
can
fixing
imagine.
problems. And then when I started to work and then bring all the techniques and the tools that we developed, we um, brought down this number to 80%. So 18
So,
months
man,
later, 18 months later, we,
it's a 10 times difference.
yes,
Right.
yes, yes, yes. Yeah,
And
so
what is the main solutions, main things that we can learn from this?
I think it was just an extrapolation of what we were doing already. It's to observe the team, understand what they were doing, and then trying to structure the process in a very clear and simple way, right? And then collect all the data, understand was fundamental to us to understand the real statuses of our products in real time, right? Understand in terms of all the project boundaries, in terms of scope, in terms of timelines and quality, and of course cost, right?
Right. Yes.
So we had to create this representation, the virtual representation of products in real time, to understand how was the how were the projects was evolving, right? Or how
Right.
they were evolving. And at the same time, we have to create lots of tools and visual tips to our teams to understand what they should do. For example, we create some operational dashboards showing um, the state of code branch, our code repository,
Right. Yes.
if we have a code good to go or not,
So they have
VPN
a easy way
statuses,
to
all this.
identify them. Yes.
Yes, was a a war. It's not was a wall with all the the indicators there,
Right.
and was very clear to everyone if they saw something, some alarm went off,
Yes.
right, from the green to red, they should do something to fix the problem.
Yes.
And
So
the key
it's a
problem,
kind of you make the urgency comes, right?
yes, yes. We actually we changed our mindset. I think was a very interesting breakthrough because we stopped to thinking about who was doing what at that time, right? We stopped we stopped to think about the people, and then we start to thinking about the work flowing
Right. Yes.
our company, our teams, and then we start to to create to focus all the efforts of our management areas to make sure that one particular work would run as fast as possible all the way through the to our value stream.
Right, understood.
Right.
Yeah. We already talked about Maringá's case when you had to move from 0 to 140 people without losing efficiency. And you have also shown the reaction to a completely different scenario where you are facing the delivery problems in a team of 50 plus people. And Ramon, what is the main learnings and what would be the best practice to address different situations that you may face?
I think the common ground of all this kind of situation that I've been living till now, um, the first learning, the first understanding that I have, software is a discovery process, right?
Right. Yes.
So you needed to leverage your culture, your company, to become a learning company all the time,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. So it's learning process, right?
It's a learning process. So
Right. Yes.
because you are learning all the time what are the best solutions that will solve our clients' problems. So this is the first one. The second one is that most of knowledge companies, right, the development companies, they are looking for delight their clients, right, because they needed to strive to survive, right? So you needed to deliver a good work, so your client pays you and you know return.
Right. Yes.
The second thing is you need to keep your teams engaged, right? This is pretty important because you want to avoid the turnovers. You want to keep the knowledge because you know the your capital is basically people, right? So
Right.
you need
Yes.
to keep them, right? So this is the second one, and of course, you needed to understand that you needed to grow. Everyone wants to grow, but in a sustainable way. You needed to, uh, make sure that everything that you do today will remain in the future, right?
Sure.
So, but the thing is, for us to meet this kind of expectations, uh, what I learned is in the end that we needed to balance demands and capacity, right? And demands basically represent our clients with their needs, right? And our capacity represents our people,
Right.
right? And all the resources that we have at our disposals to to deliver uh, uh, a good value to our clients,
So
right?
for do that, Ramon, is a kind of how to understand the portfolio in real time, how
Yes.
to look for this in a big picture way.
Yeah, you need to be able to compare apples with apples, right? So
Right.
if you want to balance this, and by balance I mean sometimes you will need to move people from one team to another,
Right.
from
Yes.
one product to another. Sometimes you need to cut scope. Sometimes you need to negotiate for more budget. This kind of things that all the development companies they are used to it, right?
Right.
Uh, but if you really want to master this game, right? You need to understand what is happening with your company,
So right, I
right? So
remember now
you
you're
need to,
talking about the no the importance of data, right?
yes, the importance of data and the how to show and how to plot this kind of information, right? So you need to create a common dialect with all products and projects, right?
Right. Yes.
So you can compare apples with apples. So what I understood is that regardless the company, regardless of what kind of project you are involved in or what kind of product you are involved to, there is always four factors, right? Everyone know that, but I want to make very clear. We always are developing something, right? You have your
Right. Yes.
scope, you have your timeline, when it's going to be done, right? You have the budget, how much it's going to cost, and the quality involved, right? So you need to understand it clearly and fast in an automatized way, in a way that you don't need to rely on someone to collect manually all the
Yes.
data
Right.
and then
Yes.
interpret it and converting all the data, this kind of stuff. You
You
need to
you
have
don't have this time, right? You need to
yes.
right. Yes.
You need to be able to compare and see at the glance and be able to compare all the projects. So then I think is that once you reach this maturity level, the next step would be to be able to create scenarios, right?
Right. So
Because
already that you have the numbers and you are able, right? You're starting to be able to create scenarios.
yes, and by scenarios I mean, okay, what if, right? What if scenarios? What if I cut people from this project and move it to another?
Yeah.
What if
I don't
what
need
would
to
be the
hire, I don't
impact?
need to hire someone. I need to think
Yes,
about hire someone, create a scenario to understand this balance, right?
yes. And yes, exactly. And what if I add a junior
Right. Yes.
developer to your team, for example, and you notice that your efficiency would decrease a little bit. How would be the impact? And how would be the impact if I have a cut scope in 3 months from now,
Right. Yes.
right?
That's a important point. I'm thinking here about how predictive I can be. Right. How
Uh,
predictive I can be when I simulate the scenarios. It's really we are looking for a scenario that we will be sure that happen, or is not so clear. It's something that's pretty distant from the reality. How predictive
yeah,
we can be.
I think that the key point here is to understand the what we can do, right? So we have some different kinds of scenarios. The first one is what we call forecastings, right? When
Right.
we use all of our historical data, right? And then we just project this into the future and
Right.
see.
Yes.
And basically, the answer for this kind of scenario is to say, okay, if we keep in this pace, right, in the future, we're going to be like that, right?
Right.
And
Yes.
then, of course, we're going to have the ranges of certainty, right, and the
Right. Yes.
probabilities
That is
of
the point.
something
Yes.
happening.
Right.
So we can say that for these scenarios, we have 85% of chance because we are based on the past.
You
But
actually can calculate this, right?
yes, we can
Wow,
calculate
right?
that. And it's pretty easy actually when you have the right data
Yeah,
back then.
right. You need to the right input, right?
Yeah. But then you once you have this kind of information, there are some tools in the market that can do this for us today. You can see and you can understand if you will keep your pace today, where you will be in the future.
Right,
But then you need to take the next step, right? And the next step would be to ask once and again the what if questions. Okay, my current projection, my current forecasting is now like that. What if, and then what if we start to create some simulations? Okay, I'm going to
so
add more
yeah,
people, are going to cut the scope, are going to negotiate, a new timeline, are going to train my people to deliver better and improve efficiency, and then you kind of create lots of different scenarios for
yes,
and every scenario that you create for your uh, particular product or project will affect the other ones in your company,
yes, and
right?
you
And
already have something to calculate these effects because
yes,
it's common, right? You have the
yes,
forecast by adding one to one, but there is more on the context, right? It's not so easy.
yes. Is not that easy, and again, the key point is to know what kind of information we needed to collect and how to plot it, and
Right.
and how to combine, right, different information from different projects, right?
Right. So we talk about the importance to be able to understand all the data in the first in one glance, right? In the
Yeah,
easy
one
way.
glance.
And we talk about the importance to start to simulate different scenarios, understanding the impacts. And we talk that is not so easy, right? It's not a simple
Right.
forecast. It's more than that. It's more. It's a
Hmm.
compound effect. There's more inside, right? This calculations, understanding. And but I'm curious here, Ramon, how we do that? How do you do that in the practice?
Yeah, we had to develop everything, right?
All the tooling related with
All
like
the
that.
tooling related. Let me tell a little story about that, right? So
Nice.
we've been working a lot, right? You saw the Maringá case and then CodeIT case, and everything that we have been developing for the past 20 years, delivering software.
Right.
And when we decided to come here to the US and start our operations here, um, of course, when we got our first client, was natural to us to show what we have, right?
Right.
So they asked us, okay, I have this problem. How can you help me to
To
solve
solve,
that?
yes.
Yeah, and then we sat together, and then we traced the strategy, and then created the project and or progress plan, the plan, whatever. And then our clients here, they really liked what they saw, right? And then since the beginning, they started to ask ourselves, to ask us why we are not having this as a product, right? Why
Right,
we are
understood.
not, because in the end we are a software developer.
Yeah, understood. And this
Development,
practice
right?
evolved as a natural, right? Not
Yes,
thinking with, oh, I want to build a
yes,
product. It's like a natural thing to do. I need to improve my practice, so we are
yes,
tooling, right?
yes, yes. So they really liked what they saw, and as I told you before, it works like genetic engineering thing, right?
Right,
Because you know the problems and you help to find a path that will accelerate your results. And
right, yes,
1 year later, we decided to change our strategy here to this new product that we are calling Sinsa.
right,
And yeah, so we can say that this product, they do everything that we discussed now, but I can say that the three main points would be to understand your portfolio at glance, managed by numbers,
right.
right? And have this ability to manage,
To create and
to
understand
create
impacts of scenarios,
scenarios.
right? Yes,
Yes, yes. And one important thing that I want to add as well is that once you create your scenario, right, you need to adjust, we need to set all your dashboards, all your numbers, right, to track down that plan,
oh, right, yes. If the
right?
planet scenario are
Yes. So you
actually
create
correctly,
so
yes,
so you create your scenario with uh, this probability that you calculated, the system will calculate for you, and then you start to run your project, right? And
right, yes,
every time that you created the tracks, right, the
right,
thresholds,
yes,
and every time that and that the system notice that you are getting out of the track,
yes, right.
the an alarm will go off, right? And with that alarm you can revisit and do the cycle all over again and recreating all the stuff and keep your projects and products under control. I think
That,
this is
that's
pretty
great.
powerful.
Great, Ramon. Thank you so much for talking about your experiences and main learnings in the cases we discussed here. It was amazing to listen and to understand a little more about the new product and its development process. So, is there anything that you want to talk more about, Ramon?
Yes, there is. So if you are a project manager, a product manager, a functional manager, or even a director, and that you are feeling, remember those three pains to understand your portfolio at glance, to run your business data driven or data oriented, or even trying to answer the what if questions, how to simulate the scenarios and using your forecasting and turn it the best scenario into project plan and track it. uh, Please talk to us, right? Because we are looking for early adopters right now. We are under development, but we believe that we have some very disruptive concepts, and we are inviting you to be part of this journey.
That's great. It's a great invitation, right?
Right.
So, thank you so much, Ramon. Thank you, Ricardo.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you for you to
Thank you.
listening also. So, goodbye,
Thank you,
guys.
everyone. Stay tuned
Bye
for the next
bye.
videos.
Right.